pot, Euphronius crata being its most famous artifact. Looted, trafficked, traded, and found, it was eventually negotiated back. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, a certain Caravaggio painting will make its way back home too, one day.
The Travel Show, your essential guide wherever you're heading, every weekend on BBC World News.
You're live with Geeta Guru-Murthy on BBC World News. Vladimir Putin uses his State of the Nation speech to justify his invasion of Ukraine. He says the very existence of Russia is under threat, with the West to blame, and promises no end to the invasion.
It were them who are culpable for the war. We are using force to stop it.
Mr. Putin says his forces are fighting to liberate Russian territory. We'll analyse what he had to say and what it signals as the first anniversary of the invasion looms. And a day of speeches. President Biden is also due to make an address in Warsaw after his surprise visit to Kiev in a show of support for Ukraine. As the leaders talk, the fighting continues. We have a special report from our correspondent on the front line near the city of Bakhmut.
The target is Russian forces in their trenches about 2 kilometres away. Day after day and night after night, Ukrainian forces here are battling to hold Bakhmut.
And in other news, another powerful earthquake hits Turkey and Syria in areas already devastated, bringing more death to the region. In the next half an hour, we'll hear from our correspondents in Kiev and Warsaw and be live in Turkey and Moscow. Hello, we start in Moscow, where President Putin has used his State of the Nation speech to justify the invasion of Ukraine, accusing the West of wanting to see the end of Russia. It comes as Russia's foreign ministry says it has summoned the United States' ambassador of what it calls Washington's increasingly aggressive course. Moscow accuses America of widening its involvement in the Ukraine conflict. Vladimir Putin made his latest remarks in a lengthy address to MPs and military leaders just days before the first anniversary of the invasion. The Russian president blamed Ukraine's allies for provoking the conflict and escalating it, and for supplying weapons to Kiev. He vowed to continue with the war, accusing the West of turning the conflict into a global confrontation. While the Russian president was particularly critical of the United States and the NATO alliance. Here's a clip.
Kyiv